The Honorable, the Leader of the Opposition.
Ke a leboga Motlatsa Mopresidente. Deputy President, in fact, I welcome your response, and I want to clarify the fact that the matter about the use of police is not in fact before a court yet at this stage. I think it's also important to note the fact that, honorable members, the Constitution makes provision in Section 91(4) that in fact the leader of government business is responsible for the affairs of the national executive in Parliament. Now, we cannot debate the fact that the police and the use of security agencies as signal devices form part of the executive. So it will be for me a point of interest to find out when, in fact, the Deputy President was informed. Secondly, that in the removal of an entire caucus, not just members who were speaking on the day who were asked to leave, the removal of the entire caucus from this House, whether or not in future, going forward, I hear the guarantee that the Deputy President, I'd like to know more specifically, should similar conditions prevail, i.e., I ask a point of order, ask a question, will in the same conditions, will the Deputy President be willing to give a guarantee that the use of the same security measures, extraordinary security measures such as police, signal devices and removing of members, in fact, not be allowed in this House? I would like to get a guarantee from the Deputy President to ensure that that never takes place, noting his constitutional obligation on this matter. Thank you very much.
The Honorable, the Deputy President.
Madam Speaker, ke a kgolwa re utlwile karabo ya ka ke ile ka re ditaba tse di mo lekgotleng yaanong ha di le mo lekgotleng a go kgonatsege gore mo nna ke arabele ditaba tse setseng di buiwa ko lekgotleng ke kopa gore a amogele gore nka se kgone go arabela potso eno ka bane e mo makgotleng ke a leboga.
The Honorable Olomisa.
Point of order.
What's the point of order, Honorable Steenhuisen?
The point of order, Madam Speaker, is that we rely in this House on precedent and convention. There have been rulings in this House made from that chair before that govern the sub judice rule, and I'd like to address you in terms of the guide to procedure where it sets out that the chair should apply the rule in such a way as, and I quote, as to impose the minimum limitation on open debate. This means that members should be allowed to refer to a matter before a court, but cannot discuss the merits of a matter before the court. I would submit to you, Madam Speaker, that we're not asking the Deputy President to go into specifics about the merits of the matter before the court. There is a broad principle that we're asking him to agree on, to answer on, and that is his view on the use of police in this House. It's not the merits of what happened on the 12th at all. It's not the merits of a case which, incidentally, is still not before a court. But it's a simple question, and we would ask an answer for it.
Honorable Deputy President, can you answer the question?
Madam Speaker, I believe I have answered this question. And I have answered the question. It could be a matter of opinion on the honorable member's side, but it is my view and my opinion and my advice that since this matter is before the courts, and indeed there are two cases that are running with this matter, and they are going to be heard in court, I am quite willing and prepared to answer questions with regard to this matter once those cases have been settled. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy President. I think, Honorable Member, I want to rule that that is the answer of the Deputy President, and he will be ready to come back to this House and answer those questions once they are done.
Speaker.
Madam Speaker, may I address you?
Madam Speaker?
Who is calling on me?
On your right, please. On your right.
Oh. Yes, Honorable
Yes.
Member. Honorable Chief Whip Steenhuisen, can you take your seat
But I was
in the meantime? Honorable.
With due respect, Madam Speaker, does the rules allow that two questions can be asked from the same party at the same time?
No, that was a point of order from the Honorable Steenhuisen, so it was not a question. Okay, honorable members, Honorable Steenhuisen, we can't, I don't know what, put the Deputy President on the floor and extract the answer from him. The Deputy President has given his answer, and that's as far as we can go. We can't dictate beyond that. But he's coming. He's promised that he will come back. I now want to move on to the next supplementary question, Honorable Steenhuisen.
May I address you, Madam Speaker?
On what, Honorable
On this particular
Steenhuisen?
matter, Madam Speaker, and I'd refer you to the Hansard of 1998, second session, column 208, where there was a ruling from the chair, and I quote, references to cases in the courts and to the facts in the cases would not be a violation of the sub judice rule. I hear what you say, Madam Speaker, that the Deputy President is going to come back. We were told last year the President was going to come answer questions. We're still waiting for that.
Honorable Steenhuisen, let's take the word of the Deputy President in good faith, and the Deputy President indeed will come, as he has always come. I now call upon Honorable Olomisa for the next supplementary question.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy President, sengiyabona ukuthi uligwala these days nobhala wami. Uphendula nje umbuzo ufuna uzubanjwa. In relation, andizazi ke lamankentshana angcola apha emva kwami bathunywa ngubani na. In relation to the original question, media has widely reported that on the third day, you intervened through the Minister of State Security. Is that true? If so, does that not constitute a breach of the important principle of separation of powers? Ayidibananga necourt le iyanqo kuntoba imedia ithi uthini apho mhlekazi?
The Honorable Deputy President.
Honorable Speaker, I'd just like to say to Honorable Holomisa, ngifuna ukuthi ngimamele Honorable Bantu. Unganibiza igwala ngoba nguyigwala wabaleka apha kuthi. Wathi umka andazi ukuthi bowubaleka ntoni. Ngoba ufala ukuthi ube ungapha. Anyway, Honorable Olomisa, I have heard of such media speculation, and I expect that the issue that you are raising will also be raised in one of the court cases that is underway. And without even beginning to say I don't want to answer these questions, I'm quite happy and willing and prepared to answer all these questions, to be quite honest. But I'd like to say, I'd like to answer them once these cases are over, because there is a view that I'd like to put forward in relation to all these matters and the incident that occurred the other day. So, Madam Speaker, that is what I request. I am bound by the advice I've been given that I should wait until these matters have been finalized. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Mbata of the EFF. Honorable Mbata, your name is here for a follow-up question.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Deputy President, will you please share with us when Honorable Mashobo, as he was seen, Mashobo, as he was seen giving you a note, will you share with us what is it that we're telling him? And will you agree with me, Deputy President, that the jamming of the signal was deliberately done so as to hide the ill intentions that you had of assaulting and dragging out of members of the EFF out of the chamber?
The Honorable Deputy President.
As I said, Madam Speaker, I'm quite willing and prepared to share all this with members, but I am, as I said, constrained by the fact that this matter is before court. And in relation to notes that pass amongst members, my own observation is that there are many notes that go around in this House from member to member on an ongoing basis. But if, as the media has been speculating, that there were notes that passed between myself and Honorable Mahlobo, I would like to address that once all those cases are over. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Likota.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Deputy President, in the SONA debate, we raised an issue which we thought has nothing to do with the cases in the courts. It's the question of sections 4, 5, and 11 of the Powers and Privileges Act, which, in our view and judgment, that act is in conflict with the provisions of the Constitution, in that, in those sections, it grants the presiding officers of Parliament powers to usurp executive powers and command the security services of the country. Nothing could be more in conflict with the Constitution. When is the presidency going to return that? We requested that it be returned to Parliament, so Parliament should amend that, expunge those sections, and make us consistent with the Constitution. It is dangerous to keep that act in place, because the reason the police could come in here and assault members of Parliament is because of that anomalous situation. And this is very urgent. Can you please do something about this?
The Honorable Deputy President.
As I understand Honorable Likota, he is actually pleading that something must be done with an act of Parliament and that we should look into it. And I hear him, and I'm sure that he's prepared to motivate this even a lot more than what he has done. We're always open, Honorable Likota, to hear views and suggestions. And speaking for myself, I'm happy to hear Honorable Likota coming across so constructively, putting forward a view that he would like us to consider. We shall consider what you are suggesting. Thank you.
Madam Chair, on a point of order.
What's the point of order, Honorable?
Madam Chair, I want to demonstrate that the President's answer is insufficient. The Deputy President's answer is insufficient. And as a result of that, and for the fact that the answer is insufficient, we cannot come to terms with the answer of this nature. When this House has been ransacked, vandalized,
Honorable Member,
vandalized.
I actually...
And when is this chair going to be fixed?
I did not...
And this demonstrates the violence which was visited upon us.
Honorable Member, please
to
take
these questions.
your seat now. You have demonstrated. We now move to question number 3.
Madam Speaker.
Which has been raised by the Honorable Shibambu to the Honorable Deputy President. The Honorable Deputy President.
Madam Speaker, on a point of order.
What's the point of order?
I'm rising on Rule 1106. Questions to the Deputy President are required to be submitted 9 days before the Deputy President appears in this House. And that is so that the National Assembly table can have a look at them, the Deputy President's office can have a look at them and prepare responses to them. If the Deputy President was going to come here today and hide behind the sub judice rule, I think it would have been far more honest of him to have indicated that when the questions were tabled in his office, rather than wait for the day to come here and refuse to answer the questions in the House. If the Deputy President had failed to do that, I think that the National Assembly table should have then ruled these questions out of order to enable the opposition to have put forward other questions or prioritised other questions. But what has essentially happened today is the Deputy President's been allowed to hide behind a spurious interpretation of the sub judice rule, and the opposition has been denied an opportunity to exercise oversight over him.
We note your points, Honourable Steenhuisen, and I'm quite sure the Deputy President's office have also taken to heart what you are saying.